Hey, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully, I don't repeat everything that Avi was talking about. Let's look at the markets. We're about to open. I've already drawn a few levels. Some things I had an alert on MYM, and it just started tanking. So let's see what's going on. Yeah, there's a level of liquidity here on MYM. So I'm very curious to see. I'm on the 15-minute here. Very curious to see what happens here. I mean, is this a liquidity sweep? There was a lot of buying here before, and MYM has been strong going into this, but then chopped around yesterday. So curious to see how this 15-minute candle closes. And I mean, this could have been a buying opportunity, but that's not how I trade in the morning. So let's go back to this screen here. Let's look at the economic calendar first of all. Palantir 52-week low. So we've got some selling off going on. As far as three candle, I need to reload this, I believe. Yeah, so at 10 a.m., new home sales, crude oil inventories after that in 1 hour. So new home sales at 10 a.m. might be interesting. As far as 5 things to know about the stock market, they're all saying the same thing. Stock futures are rising. The FedEx, I don't trade earnings. Cerebras, I am paying attention to. I do have an alert on Cerebras. I want it to get back to its IPO price, and it's slowly creeping there. Same alert that I've got on SpaceX. And as far as financial juice, traders no longer fully price a quarter point hike this year. Good. So maybe we will not get an interest rate hike. So let's start looking at, actually, I wanted to start with the Apple trade from yesterday. If you remember, I talked about the kangaroo tail. One of my students had pointed it out. It was a near perfect setup. It was at a point of previous resistance, a lot of room to the left. It spiked up above, grabbed liquidity. Entry would be on a new low below this. The conservative stop would be above the wick. And if you remember yesterday, I said that halfway up the wick or right at this fair value gap here would have been a more aggressive stop. But if we leave it right above the wick here, if you're stopped out or if price gets back to there, you just consider yourself wrong. It took all day, but it got to target right over here. So target at 315. So this would have been a 3R trade. That's what I aim for, is 3R. Multiple 3Rs end up stacking up. So what else have we got here? We got MNQ. MNQ has just been sideways this morning. It is putting in a kangaroo tail that I'm talking about, the one that I just talked about on Apple. Will, you just missed it, but I was talking about the kangaroo tail that would have worked. It would have taken all day, but it did work. I just want to get rid of this and go back to, where was I? MNQ. So MNQ seems to have taken liquidity out here. Big volume spike, but that's from the open. I want to see what happens above this area here. So honestly, I prefer to see what happens above yesterday's high. We're still within the range of yesterday. So I'm going to move this alert probably above this range here. I want to be alerted if we break out of here, because it could reject and could put in a short signal at H4 here. So that's why I want to be alerted over here. If it happens in the first 15 minutes, then I would not consider a short over here. The other one I was looking at was gold. So gold has been coming down. We had a sell-off over here. I'll look at that MES in a minute. So we had a sell-off under L4 over here, or S4, and started pulling back over here. This is where I have an alert. because the most recent impulse move is selling. Therefore, if it goes back into the 50% of this range, that might give me a signal to continue the short, and I would be aiming for the low of the range. Gold has not been here in a long time, so there's tons of room to the left. You have to go on to a 1 hour or even larger chart to see where there's possible support here. I mean, we could make it down to this level over here. I had a level. Let's bring it up over here. So if it were to continue and show weakness below here, target could absolutely be all the way down here. So that's what I'm going to look at. If it retraces into this area, that's what I'm looking at. My watch is going crazy, so I don't know if you guys are looking at anything, if anything's tanking right now. I also had levels set up on oil. I want to be alerted if it comes back into the 50% retracement area. So my alert is set there. MES, I wanted to be alerted if it came out of this consolidation zone here, but I'm not doing anything because it was right there earlier today. If it were to spike up, it could sweep, go up to H4 and continue the move down. I took a couple swipes at this morning just because it was clean price action within this range over here, right around this area. So at the high, came down, and then it went back up. You assume that it's just going to stay in this range over here. Not something I do often, but it worked out for sandwich money. And I think I just got a message. Let's look at that. Oh, this is something else. Okay. I don't know if anybody else is looking at anything. I am going to go back now to the 5-minute time frame. Very curious to see what happens on gold over here. Right? We are selling. Did we find support over here? Just random support. I say random because we have not been here in a long time. Right? So do I really trust that this was where everybody wanted to buy? Is there a level here? Look how far I need to go. Right? Just over here, we came down below this area of possible support here, and then made it to here. I mean, maybe at this level right here. Let's put a level there. All right, that's why I don't trust the buying from this area right now. Go back to the 5. So this is how I would trade this. I'm going to go to the paper trading. I'm going to say that I want to put in, let's get rid of this. I want to put in a limit order sell with a take profit and stop loss. Let's say that my risk was $100. My stop would be above the 61.8, right above this green candle over here. My entry would be close to the 50, and my take profit would be at 3R. So right now, 100 isn't cutting it. How about 125? Yes, $124 it would be for this stop loss. So if I were to put in a limit order, that's how I'd set it up. Right? I trust that it's going to wick up and then return down. I'm not necessarily placing this order right now. I'm going to see how things play out if and when my alert goes off here. I don't like the fact that it did put in a 5-minute fair value gap to the buy side. Shows that there's definitely some interest, but it is the opening candle. So it's very often that you'll get a 5-minute fair value gap here. And this could have been a kangaroo tail entry, right over here for the long. Right, that is very, very close to what I like seeing. And the only thing that I would not have taken it, well, two reasons. First of all, it's right in pre-market, 10 minutes before the open. I would not take it. Secondly, is it really at a level? Is it at a level of support? And not that I can see. So let's see what happens here. That's the only thing I'm really looking at right now. It's only 10 minutes in, so I'm not crazy about getting involved before the first half hour. Take out the alert, considering we're watching it, and it's just going to go off now. Any questions, comments, please don't hesitate. You guys are looking at something else. This candle right here is very interesting as well. It's a massive candle. You would think that the candle itself would be massive, and it's not. So that's a bit of an anomaly. Like, this was a big volume candle, coincided with a big price candle. This one was much higher, but smaller price candle. So let's see what happens.
I think that would be the stops being taken out below 4,000.
Yeah.
Big round number. So we had a big sell candle as we broke through the previous day's low, I think it was. Or was it? I think it was a swing low going back on the daily chart. So when that got taken out, that was a big spike down. That printed that whole candle within seconds on massive volume.
46.
It was around 4045-ish, I think.
0. Yeah, right around here. Yeah, that is that candle here.
Yes. So when that got taken out, that was a big stop hunt. And then when we took out 4,000, that attracted a big spike down. And then we sort of had the move back above 4,000 as well. So you could sort of gauge that we'd reached a level of temporary acceptance.
Yeah, so this level here. Yeah, thanks for sharing, Hamza. You can tell that we were pushing, and then we're slowing down. We're slowing down at the 50% retracement area here. This is only a paper trade, so you can tell that my limit order is in right now, but I am not taking it live. I am going to watch it. I want to see what happens here. This is where I usually would go onto the 2-minute time frame, and I'd like to see an obvious sweep or an obvious selling candle, right? As far as the 2-minute candles are concerned, this is very bullish, so it's not a short.
No, I think it's probably going to move back towards some sort of value. It's had a big sell-off overnight. We were talking about this. The equities, they have looked really bad, but all the metals have sort of been one directional, going straight down. That's everything from gold, copper, silver, platinum, aluminium, palladium. They're all down like between 2 to 5%. So it's been very steady, selling since Asia and all the way through London as well.
This is what I look for possible. I want the 2-minute candle to close bearish. And then if it puts in a new low, for me, that would be an entry. But right now, it's still early. Still in the first 15 minutes. I'm not crazy about taking the short here. But again, the short would be aiming at the bottom of the range. Right, so this is the limit order I just put in. And then 3R is right over here. So I'm going to move that right there. I'm going to confirm. Again, this is just a paper trade. So this is not, and it is a bearish candle. It's a sweep up, even though it closed green. So if we were to sell below 24.30 here, if it was a little bit later on in the session, I might be interested in taking it again, just for the 3R move. I don't like where it just started buying. Seems a little bit random to me. Here, loss of Asia, midline, outrunner, overnight low area, done for the day. So as far as the rest is concerned, I need an alert below the low day here. That's where I'm going to pay attention. Inside this range here, I do nothing. Get rid of this. That one worked out well yesterday. MES still within this range, just chopping around there. So doing nothing until we get above high day or below this range, which I already have an alert. The trade that I described yesterday ended up working. I know I was saying that I wasn't sure whether I would take it, but I couldn't resist a continuation short. So a lot of selling yesterday in MES in pre-market. Then we punched up, hesitated in the golden zone. And once it started selling over here and showing resistance over here, I took a short just for 3R and got it right around here. And right after I got it, moved down a little bit further, but then came back. But then made it down a little bit lower and has just been finding buyers at this level here, just below yesterday's low. Yesterday at 7 p.m., that's where we started buying. But now we're just chopping around in here. So it might be directionless. So let's see what happens. So another 2-minute, possibly a rejection candle. So I'm going to leave my levels here for now. We have not seen a red candle yet. If we go on to the 1 minute, there is a red candle, but I need to see a red candle below the 50% zone. So let's go back to the 2 here. Anybody else looking at anything? Back to the 5.
I'm just looking at the M2K and it's moving horrible. Just completely no real trend or pattern forming just yet. But I mean, we've been sideways all of overnight, so I can imagine at some point today, but I hope it'll get moving at some point today.
Yeah.
I can't say for sure.
I mean, for scalpers, like we are definitely within a range here. But you can assume that if it goes up here and does nothing, it's likely that it's going to go back and test the bottom of the range. Right? So it's not a strategy that I say that, but I did it this morning on NES. When you've got a very noticeable range here, let's go from here to here, right? Very noticeable range here. If we get to the bottom and do not make any lower lows, then there's a high possibility that it's going to come back to the top. So that is one.
We've swept the value area from yesterday on the upside. So I'd be curious to see if we if we can go red on the day. I mean, technically we're still green on the day from the start of the Asia session, so can't say that there's any decisive action.
Wow, that is very tight Asia session.
Yeah.
Yeah, or we might be directionless. MNQ, just trigger the alert.
It's quite a wide candle yesterday as well, and the day before. And
A white
so,
candle, sorry, Hamza?
the daily chart yesterday, we are slap bang sort of in the middle of it, and the day before was quite wide as well. So maybe we are experiencing some compression for now. I'm talking about the M2K. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm just taking levels off here. Too many lines to look at. M2K on the daily. There you go. That's the range right there. It had been pushing up, especially these last 2 days. This was I stopped out on the gold. Yep, on the paper trade. So there you go. That's one that the limit order would not have worked. M2K is punching out of the zone at the top. So if we are not breaking out, let's just show that this market, it could be, if it doesn't, let's go to a 1 minute. If it puts in a bearish candle or rejects the top here again, it could be a sell, but it's punching up higher. So I would not take it as a short. Get rid of this.
Just need to see the candles get a bit more small and steady. I think technically on the M2K, we swept the low yesterday of the previous session, and we closed well, sort of past the 50% point. So it's not bearish.
Nope.
Yet, anyway.
No. And if you look at the structure from the bottom here, where we made a low, MES is crossing from this structure and this pullback, it definitely looks like a golden zone entry. Right? Didn't quite make it to 50, and then the continuation. So this is where I would move my fibs over here. Move this back to the top. We definitely seem like we're buying. Does it come back? And that's what a break and retest is, right? We are breaking out of that zone with momentum and created a fair value gap. This is on the 1 minute though. Do we come down and find the buyers that were left out here now that we might be picking a direction? I do not know what that sound was. Hate it when my computer makes sounds that I don't recognize.
That was me raising my hand. I didn't want to.
Oh, that's what that is. Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you, Brian. Hey, go ahead.
I just wanted to say I'm gonna get off here, shut everything down because I don't want to mess anything up. But I will be on at 1 o'clock today. We didn't do it yesterday. I was tied up all day, so I'll do a 1 o'clock session today if anybody wants to join.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing, Brian. Okay, so note to self, that sound is somebody putting their hand up in Google Meet. Okay, so now that we've got a breakout here, right? It's not the strongest breakout I've ever seen, but it is a breakout nonetheless. Right? We were buying, we pulled back, kept on buying, set my fib down here. So the range over here, I would set an alert right below H3. Right? I'd like to know, okay, what happens when we pull back, if we pull back into this area, right? Basic break and retest. But it coincides with a 50% retracement here. If it does come down here and shows a lot of buying from this area, so this might be an entry area for the golden zone entry or break and retest, whatever you want to call it. MGC is buying, therefore these are no longer valid. So that's out of there. Again, I don't trust this bottom. I know I've said it, but it just seems like a very random area. Does not look like it's swept. I usually like to see, if I'm going to trust that we came out, I want to see a lot of volume at the bottom, which we did not have. You know, we're buying right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if this area, 39.73, is retested. What else we got? Let's go to the 5-minute. Yeah, very, very tight range here on MNQ. MES, right, making a new high. But, you know, I don't trust this. I mean, it's not a break. I look at the retest is the entire range. All right, we're buying, then we're coming all the way back down. I mean, this is the high volume type of wick that I like to see at the bottom of a zone. Right now, we just seem to be rejecting that area. So we could be retesting the lows again. Basically, I don't see much happening right now. What kind of news did we have at 10? Home sales, I think. Let's go back to this. Does this show it to me? That's tomorrow. Yeah, U.S. new home sales. So the way the financial juice shows it is with a little lightning bolt. What does it say? Super fast release. Super fast release. I prefer this one. I don't like that it's not reloading by itself. There you go. 3 minutes until the new home sales. Not sure what that kind of impact is going to have on the market. SPY in a range. Might just be an inside day. Qs. Same thing. This was a higher time frame area here. We swept down, just consolidating. I think a lot of consolidation happening just inside the first 30-minute candle. CCL earnings yesterday. Dropped down, found buyers. I think it was Evo that was looking for an entry on this yesterday. Keep my eye on SPY right now to see if those economic numbers have any impact. This is an interesting candle on gold. I am going to set an alert here. If it makes a new low below this retest area here, then I would start paying attention to it. Let's leave it on SPY for now. We need a tweet. By that, I mean, sure you know what I mean, but a presidential tweet or truth. Get this market going. You look for a specific type of 2-minute candle for the entry. Absolutely. If I'm going short, it needs to be a bearish candle. Let's say this one right here. Just pretend that that was, let's say I had a level over here. If you're looking at my screen, right? If I had a level and I wanted to see even better if it actually, hit the level, couldn't get above. If I was looking to short here, I've got a bearish candle. This right here, they do not get any more bearish than that. A new low after a bearish candle. So short, stop above the range, aim for 3R. Did I get it? No, I didn't get it. But, this was just picking a random bearish candle over here. This was a good bearish candle to get in on. Obviously, you need to follow a strategy, and thank you, Razuri. You need to follow a strategy, but that's what I look for. If I'm looking for a 2-minute entry, let's say the gold trade that I was looking at earlier, I wanted to see a 2-minute bearish candle. See, like this one, right? So let's say my level had been here. This is a really good example, actually. Okay, let's say my level was here. Can't make it above. This one hits it again. There's a bearish candle. However, entry is on a new low, a break below that bearish candle. Didn't happen. No entry. Thank you for the question. And you can do the same thing on the 5-minute, on the 15, 30. It doesn't matter. Right? For some entries, I look at the 5, like the kangaroo tail setup. Let's go back to Apple yesterday. Right? This was an entry on one of my favorite strategies, on equities, especially on stocks. So this happens often. At a level and another level of resistance, we sweep up and reject it. Even though this candle here closed somewhat green because the open was at 340 and the close was at 342. So 2 cents made this candle green, but it's absolutely a bearish candle because it wicked up, could not find buyers. Nobody was buying over here. We're buying at premium. People are saying, no bueno, I'm not buying at that height. And sellers jump in. So they're pushing price down. Entry is on a new low, right? This was a paper trade that I was describing here. Stop is above the wick right here. I personally aim for 3R. And this is a trade that worked. It took all day, but it got there. And if you set it and forget it, then, if you're willing to risk a 1R to make 3, then this, I would have taken this. I haven't traded equities in months, but, this is a good example of a bearish 5-minute candle. It's not the ideal example because I like it closing right at the bottom. I do not like having a wick at the bottom. But look what happens as soon as we make a new low. Look at this massive 5-minute candle here. Right? So a lot of people were shorting right here. And a lot of longs, these guys over here, these longs, they're getting stopped out or they're just panicking and saying, to heck with that, I'm getting out. Let's go back. I like looking at the 5-minute. And I forgot to even look because I was talking, forgot to look at the news. Did it have any impact at all? Doesn't seem like it. Let's go back to here, new home sales. So lower than expected. previous was minus 5.7%. So this is just generally macro economics saying that the economy is slowing down. Just very generally, new home sales are down. Basically, the economy is slowing down, which could be positive for the market because it could mean that we will be lowering interest rates again, or at least not raising them. So many different ways of looking at it. Yeah, for the time being, this is there's not much going on. There's my gold. Did I take away my? Did I take away the alert? I guess I must have. Right, this is on the 1 minute. I was looking at this over here. See, this is a rejection candle at a level. Right? Entry short, not on this candle, not on this one, but on the break or a new low. Conservative stop, aggressive stop. Aim for 3. And I like the fact that 3 is right at L6. So let's leave that here. That's on the 1 minute. Some people like trading the 1 minute time frame. I'm just going to leave my stop right at the wick here. Very micro level double top. I do not trade the 1 minute double top. But, you have somebody like Avi who's trading the 1 second chart. So the 1 minute works as well. If we put this back to the low over here, low to high, came very close to this golden zone here. There was room to the left from the initial area. So this might have been an area to get back in for some longs. This is a very interesting candle right here on the 1 minute time frame, though. Right, a new low below this candle here. This is a bit of a rejection candle here, but it did close green above the previous candle. Had it closed red below here, this could have been a rejection candle indicator for a short. Yeah, just a choppy mess. I don't know if anybody's getting involved in anything here. This the short that I was looking at on oil did not produce an entry. I did not get into the zone. I'm going to take that alert out now because the zone is changing. I'm going to set an alert right here now for later on. Gilles, when there is room to the left, does the price run towards a consolidation zone? I noticed many reversals happening when a bullish candle forms from room to the left. When there is room to the left, does price run towards a consolidation zone? When there's room to the left, let me draw an arrow here because there is room to the left. What are we looking at right now? Oil. There is lots of room to the left because we have not been in this area in a long time. Basically, what it means, the way that I see it, is that it can go either way. It's showing that this room to the left here, it lacks possible support or resistance areas, right? Let me go back here. Let me go back to this area here. Let's do the replay. That way we get rid of every other drawing. There you go. So at this level right here, there's room to the left. Let's grab this. There's room to the left because the market had not been there in a while. However, if you do go a little bit further, you see that you've got levels right there, you know, another level right here. So what it means is that if you were to take a short here, there's possible support at these levels. Now, I don't remember when I put the, what did it do? You know, it kept on, that's a 15-minute. So that's what room to the left means to me. It means that when we have room to the left, price can continue or it could come back. But it's a condition for me to start my fibs or for taking a rejection at a top. Let's go over here. Let's replay over here. Start new. Let's look at this candle right here. Okay. So this candle right here, if I was thinking of going short here, I wouldn't because this candle, the wick is way too high. There's nowhere I can put a stop here unless it was right above this level right here. But anyway, what I look for is room to the left. Is there room to the left? Let's get rid of this drawing. There was room to the left. Let's say the candle was a little bit shorter. If it had just gone up to here, then it just shows that the market was uncomfortable here. Right? So it rejected this area because it couldn't find buyers up here and then continuation short. I mean, my example on Apple earlier, this is what I was looking for. So I don't think I'm answering your question properly, but when I was looking or analyzing this yesterday, I was looking, okay, well, where is potential resistance? Well, this candle right here showed resistance the prior day. So I put a level there. And then we see on this candle here, we went up and above that resistance and rejected it. Therefore, it proved that it was resistance. Now there's room to the left. So we could either go up to get out of that range or we could go down. But when you have a bearish candle like this, the likelihood, what nobody knows, but the likelihood is that we're going to sell from there because we couldn't buy. So that's what we ended up doing. If I wanted to buy from here, right, from this candle, I'd look, okay, there's lots of room to the left. Basically, what I'm saying is I'm not going to take a trade in this area right here, because it's just a choppy mess. There's no room to the left. Any candle that or any arrow that I try to draw, I mean, there's, you know, all these. So anyway, hopefully that long-winded answer makes sense. It can go either way. Right? The room to the left as far as Naked Forex, the book that I often refer to, move that back. They say that the market is uncomfortable at an area when there's room to the left. Look at this candle right here, right on MNQ. MNQ, we came down here, lots of room to the left. And people ask all the time, well, how much room does it have to be? It has to be visible. Even in this area over here, we can see that the market had not been there since 12 o'clock. So there's quite a bit of room to the left. It's not as good as the sweep down here, because the sweep down here, if I draw an arrow, I mean, it's off the screen. And look at what happened. We went down there, and then buyers got involved because they saw that, okay, there's room. This is an obvious level of possible support. Let's put a level there. Yesterday's low, retested again post-market, 7 p.m. last night, tested again this morning. So this is a possible strong area of support. And a lot of my terms, the room to the left, the kangaroo tails, trendy kangaroo tails, they come from Naked Forex. Great book. Obviously, it talks about trading Forex, but I've never traded Forex. And it works with equities, futures, it works with options, especially if you trade options watching the underlying chart, which I don't do anymore. Never say never for now. Just sick of trading, especially in this market, I should say. I should add that options have changed in the last 2 years. It'll be 2 years in November, if you know what I mean. Before then, it was working better than the last 2 years. It's a time decay. I would not want to be trading options right now. I mean, this is just absolute horrible movement, price action. And thank you for saying you got the answer. Good. Right at this level right here on MNQ, it's approaching a level of interest. I don't know what it's going to do. I'll let the candles tell me what it's going to do. But over here, it could find support. We could find a lot of buyers, volume spike, and boom, off it goes. Or it could break down and really start selling again on a lot of volume. I would not trade the breakout, but I would trade the retest, especially if it was a 50% retracement, because that is a very high likelihood of continuation. So thanks for the questions, everyone. And if anybody else is looking at anything else, I mean, this is like watching paint dry today, and that's okay. I'm not going to force anything. I used to. I've been there trying to justify entries. And some people might say that this is forming as a double bottom. I don't really see it as a bottom. We were just consolidating and chopping in this area. For it to be a bottom, it needs to come from a higher area, right? Down here, you're selling, right? We put in a bottom, retraced, put in a second bottom. This one's a lower bottom, but then, and then a triple bottom. Then that I would consider it, and it didn't turn out to be a good double bottom. But from right now, that's, as far as my rules are concerned, that's not a double bottom. We're still inside this choppy zone. But I want to see what happens here. 1020. What happens here? MES in a similar area. Just a choppy mess inside this large consolidation area. So what I'm going to do in a few minutes, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to set some alerts. Bottom of the zone here, possibly the top of the zone here. Here, I'll set it right now. So if it were to break the high day, it's not an automatic trade. We're still within yesterday's range. Right? So we're probably just going to end up, no, probably, I should watch my words. We could possibly stay just inside yesterday's range, just an inside day. But if it does break out of this level, I want to be alerted. Same thing with the bottom. MNQ. I don't know if I have an alert down here. I don't, because we're just watching it right now. Gold. There's that rejection of this level here. Right? I had said that this could be a possible short entry, especially with this candle right here. Yes, it is green. It's not an ideal kangaroo tail, but it is at a level. It does show that it's a rejection of this area. And then we put in a new low. So that was the entry to see if we can get back to L6. Let's leave it there. M2K just seems to be chopping around, directionless. And I will set an alert if it breaks the high. We are still within yesterday's levels. I don't have my key levels on. Let's put those on. Let's get rid of the cams. All right, so levels that I look at often is yesterday's high and yesterday's low right here. So we are within this area here. Right? We are just chopping around this area here. There are strategies that work in here, but I prefer when price shows its hand and gets out of that area. Interesting candle forming on MNQ at an area of possible buying here at a level that we said might be support. Look at the 1 minute here. So the 1 minute, put in a bullish candle. If you're trading a 1 minute kangaroo tail, this is it right here. It's not ideal because the body of the candle should be within the range of the previous candle. And I don't trade the 1 minute time frame on kangaroo tails. But as far as scalping is concerned, I mean, if you have an order waiting at 29,500, let's say, if you got an entry to go long and you see it wick down, this is something that I used to trade all the time. At a level of possible support here, it's a very possible entry to go long here and just to scalp up to here. Risky, but then your stop is right below it. Okay, as soon as it goes and makes a new low, then you're out. Hopefully that makes sense. Not trying to suggest a different strategy here, but you know, that's what, 100 and 140 points, 142 points. Obviously, if you can get in right here. Okay, so it's 10:24. I'm going to leave in 5 minutes. I'm going to see if anybody else is coming on. Parsa is coming on at 10:30. Brian already said he's going to be back at 1. Avi said that he will try to get back on as well. And that's a good amount of volume here. It sounds like somebody's saying something, but I can't hear.
I took a long on the M2K and I was trying to take a partial and I just exited my full
I
position.
hate when that happens. Yeah. On On the 1 minute here, this is a really nice retracement for the long. Just get rid of that. Retracement. We had these levels here, long. And then, yeah, that's happened to me as well. Trying to take a partial, and you get out of the hole. And then you got to be careful. I'm sure you're experienced enough to know, Hamza. Got to be careful not to necessarily just jump back in. I've done that many times as well.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait and see if we get a consolidation and maybe try and break the high of the day.
Yeah, and then get in on the next move.
Yeah.
Wendy's new meme stock, 30% trading halted. Anybody trading Wendy's?
Is it Wendy's?
Wendy's, these guys.
Restaurants?
So,
What is it? Fried chicken?
yeah, go for your Wendy's. What do they call their burgers? They're classics, I think. So from the close to right there is 41% increase. So
Short squeeze.
yeah, it might be on Wall Street Bets or something like that. This is definitely a recent high right here. Yeah, I don't trade this stuff, but I do get these alerts from Yahoo. Somebody was asking me a little while ago what it's just from Yahoo. Yahoo Finance. Baba reached 52-week low at 100. This is something I used to trade. Alibaba. The daily chart here. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, really? If people believe in this company. This is the most recent. I mean, it broke down below this area of possible support here. So if it keeps on going down, this is the next level over here from April of 2025. I don't know enough about this company. All I know that people refer to it as the Amazon of China. But yeah, that's a scary chart. Would not want to be an investor in this unless it was for the long term, and right now it's on sale. People that are long-term investors are going to be buying at this level. Apple is still chopping around. Tesla is still within 30-minute range.
Looks like MTK is setting up for a further move.
Yeah.
It's very wicked though, the small time frames.
For your sake, I hope it rejects here and just pulls back, and then you'll say that was a genius move to get out of the whole position. Square Burgers, yes, Tarek. I'll be honest. Wendy's is if I do have a fast food craving, Wendy's is one of my favorites. Or Burger King.
Yes, I like them too.
Yeah, or Burger King. Burger King is pretty good. Or if there are any Aussies in the group, Hungry Jack's. Wayne W. Yes, good call, Will. Yeah, this rejection candle right here. Let's go on the 1 minute time frame just for this micro analysis here. See how it if it were to sell off here, that is rejection of prior highs here. Right, taking out the stops of whoever would have been short right over here. It did put in I do not like this as far as, getting in for the short. It put in a new low trapped a lot of shorts on that one penny or whatever it is short here, and then reversed from there. If I were short here, depending on the setup, this is something that I've often just said, don't get the heck with it, I'm out.
I actually took a long just now again.
Yeah, so
Just want to see one more push. It's a nice tight stop.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. Great trade, Hamza. Sorry, I just got a text. Let me just finish by saying I know yeah, Parsa, you're ready to go. Give me 2 seconds. Because somebody was asking about the 1 minute or 2 minute bearish candle. There is a bearish candle right here. Right? There's a bearish candle. Entry is on a new short. Let's say you want to go short, but look at what happened. The low of this candle is 30.15.10, and this candle went to 30.14.90. So 2 ticks away and then reversed. For some people, that's a long signal because we just trapped some people trying to go short here and their stops are above here. So going long right here for taking out their stops, and now we're making a new high. This could be a long entry. So anyway, just wanted to finish with that. Parsa is on, and I think Avi said he might be jumping on a little bit later. Like I said earlier, Brian will be back on at 1 p.m. So have a great day, everyone. Hopefully everybody's keeping it green in this choppy, messy market, and we'll see everyone tomorrow. Okay.
Thank
Cheers.
you, Gilles.
Later, Parsa.
Thank you, Gilles.
Thank you, Gilles.